5. And for this lesson, we will complete the specially designed instruction section, the transportation section, the non-academic and extracurricular activity section, general factors and least restrictive environment. So I'm going to start with section 7. This is where we enter the specially designed instruction for the student, and there's a little drop down box here, and the only service that is there is for speech and language. Other than that, you have to create your own specially designed instruction. What is specially designed instruction exactly? It is the methodology or delivery of instruction to address the unique needs of the child that result from the child's disability. It is also created to ensure access of the child to the general education curriculum. So for Joe, I'm going to kind of paste a little section in here that I've already created. It's small group instruction that supplements and provides for reteaching, writing strategies and concepts, essay development, explanation of directions, and monitoring of progress. The goal addressed here would be 1 because he only has the written expression goal. Now, for Joe, if he is receiving this specially designed instruction in the gen ed classroom, then we would put in this provider title, General Education Instructor. If he receives it in a resource room and is provided this specially designed instruction from an intervention specialist, then you would put Intervention Specialist. And correlating with that would be the location of services. If it's in the general ed classroom, that's what you put. If it's in a resource room, then you would put that there. The beginning date would clearly be the first day that his IEP begins, and the ending date would be 1 year minus a day, so 364 days from your beginning date. For the amount of time, you're going to enter the amount of time you work with that student, either weekly, quarterly, however you want to divide it up, on his writing goals. Okay, let's go on down here. Related services, this is your drop down box here. Joe does not have any related services, so I'll leave this area blank, but you can clearly see your options here: OT, school psych services, things like that. On down here is assistive technology. If any assistive technology is needed, you can put it here. Accommodations is the area where we almost always fill in for students with special needs. Some might be extended time, having material read aloud to the student, things like that. But if you're going to use extended time, it is best if you mention in parentheses how much extended time you're going to need for that. Location of services could be probably the general ed classroom and or the resource room, depending on where the location of services are going to be provided. Modifications are used when the student requires a drastic change in curriculum. For the next 2 sections, support for school personnel and support for medical needs, I'm going to read to you what the annotations say, because personally I don't use this section, and I don't think I've ever used this section. But for the support for school personnel, it says provides support to school personnel who may need assistance in implementing the child's IEP. This section provides an opportunity for the team to discuss and articulate those specific supports or training necessary for school personnel to provide a free and appropriate public education to the child with a disability. Supports can include an aid, training, resource material, equipment, consultation with other professionals, etc. Medical services that the child needs in order to receive a FAPE. They would include medications that must be dispensed during the school day, medical services that may need to be provided during the school day, such as catheterization or feeding tubes, breathing therapy for asthma, things like that would go here. Our next section down is transportation as a related service, and you would just click the yes or no on each one of those, and they're pretty self-explanatory. If Joe would require an aid on the bus, that would go in this section down here. And you would save and close. After you save, you come back to your home page, your task queue, and I'm going to scroll down to the sections 9, 10, and 11. We'll just kind of briefly cover this. In what ways will the child have the opportunity to participate in non-academic extracurricular activities with non-disabled peers, and describe? For the non-academic and extracurricular activities, I've given you an example here. It is just a general statement that almost works for many of the students we have. If the child is not able to participate in extracurricular activities, we have to explain why. This section would be used for students who are living in a behavioral facility and cannot participate in outside of that facility events. General factors. This is where you would click that you consider the strengths of the child, the concerns of the parent. A nice thing to do is always send home a parent information form where it asks for parent input, or even call the parent, ask them what they would like you to have in the IEP. And the results of the initial or most recent evaluation of the child. We always use the ETR when we're developing an IEP. And district-wide, statewide assessments, yes. And the academic, developmental, and functional needs of the child, yes. Down here's where you would enter if you're going to have extended school year services. The LRE, does the child attend school that he or she would not if not disabled? Let's click yes, because we're a public school and John is attending that. Does he receive all special education services with non-disabled peers? If not, justify. John receives all of his classes in the general ed classroom, so I'm going to click yes. If he does not and he receives services in a resource room, then you would click no and you would put a description as to why. And we'll save and close. And we have completed sections 7 through 11. I hope it was helpful for you.